All right, boys. You want to start it off?
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to the Payment and Pierce podcast, episode 4, starring Xylan Mystic,
Star.
star of the show. This week we're going to be talking about Tarkov. We're going to be talking a little bit about Twitch. We're going to obviously have a little Q&A segment for you guys in chat. Xylan, why don't you give us the little breakdown on what you do, who you are, and we'll get right into it.
Cool. My name is Silent Mystic. You can find me over there, that same name for Twitch and a couple other multimedia sites. Basically, we are a Tarkov streamer that plays other games as well. I'll do a couple hours of Tarkov and then we'll go and do a single player campaign. So we just finished like Little Nightmares Inside and Limbo not too long ago. We're going through Sekiro Shadows Die Twice right now. But mainly we do play Escape from Tarkov. But over here, and you can find myself and Leroy, who's actually Laney_XX. I'd never call her that again.
All right. So today, one of the first things we're going to hop into is this past little dev blog we had. We had a few more reveals, some spicy information, little, dick tickles from Nikita. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Twitch for you guys in chat. For anyone out there who's trying to, overtake Pierce as the best Twitch streamer of all time.
It's not possible.
We'll give you little tips and tricks on how to do so. And then at the end of the stream, we will continue into the little Q&A segment where you can ask Xylan what beard oils he uses for that luxurious.
And how he gets that puffy hair too. I want to know the secret to that one.
Oh, yeah, I'll let it loose.
So we had another dev blog. Servers are still ass, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, what your guys' experiences have been, but servers have still been fucking ass. But we got some new interesting little info, I guess. Some of the stuff I wanted to run through real quick is we had mentioned on one of the past podcasts that the cultists were ready and they would be wielding knives. Poisoned knives, which you would need to get an antidote to heal. So apparently the knives will be lootable and the poison will be deadly until the end of the raid, until you have a crafted antidote.
Oh, is that what they said in the most
that's
recent?
That's what they said.
Holy shit.
I really dislike it. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are.
It doesn't. It feels like it doesn't fit into the game, man. Like, I don't know. It's like if they implement it right, if they implement it correctly, like it could be really cool. Kind of, add something dynamic to the game. But it just seems like another weird thing. Like I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like a waste of resources for development, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, last night I fucking, like the desync for, first of all it's been pretty shitty. It's been a little better than it was, but it's still been pretty shitty, and I don't know if you guys have been getting like the server disconnects where it just tells you, just mid raid you go black screen. Yeah, it's fucking
constantly. The problem that I've been running into with server disconnections is the last time I streamed was a couple days ago because I stepped away for a couple days. I was perfectly fine solo, but as soon as I brought in a duo or a bigger team, immediate constant disconnects. I don't know if you guys have been facing the same problem, or do you guys only have it when you're solo, or what's up?
I've definitely encountered it more when I'm playing with people. Pierce is obviously a bit of a loner, but
hey, actually, last night I did trios and it actually wasn't bad. I think I don't even know if I maybe one raid I disconnected. Oh yeah, actually there was one raid where scavs were just eating like full mags of the fucking head, and so yeah, I just ran to the extract. But besides that, it really wasn't a problem, and queue times have been fine as well.
Yeah, I mean, queue times have been much better. I will give them. Let's see, what else do we have to run through here? We're going to get the grenade launcher. We already ran through that. Let's see, compass. I don't know if that's going to be all too useful. I feel like people who are going to use directional on maps already know like their directional landmarks. This one is cool.
I think that'll be cool. I think compasses, like for new players especially, like I mean, like people that have played the game a long time, like they already really know how to get around. But and I think even for squad play, like people that already know the maps and whatnot, like for call outs and shit like that, I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've run into people trying to go to resort on Shoreline, and you tell them I'm in the West Wing, and they're like, "What? Where's
Yeah,
West?"
West
I'm like,
from me? Yeah, right.
all right, guys. I mean, some of that does come down to map knowledge, but again, we're in a season of a lot of new players coming in, so I think this is it can be an opportunity to make it a little bit easier on some people. Do I think it'll make a giant impact? Not really, unless there's going to be some other combining mechanic that will make it absolutely necessary.
So this is my favorite thing, airdrops. So they said one will be random, like it just drops in, and then another you can call in with a flare. I think it's
like kick ass, dude. I think that's gonna be so much fun. I mean, it'll add, especially like later in like if you're running customs or something, and you clear out dorms, or more of the fights are taking place like a gas station or whatever. Like going on that hill or something and calling in a fucking airdrop, and everybody just comes in. I mean, the airdrop loot, I feel like it has to be worth it. Like if it's like toilet paper and squash and diapers and shit, like nobody's gonna give a shit about it. But if it's good stuff and they're hard to get, like the flares themselves, I think it'd be a crazy dynamic to add into the game.
Well, I think if it's like, how in the bottom below Hermetic Door on Reserve, you have all those resource crates, the big wooden crates with a bunch of different resources.
Yeah.
If it dropped like 5 or 6 of those out of like a cargo plane,
that'd be
just
sick.
Landed down and we're full of fucking resources, I think that would be fucking.
See, but I don't. Is it gonna spawn in, or do you think it's gonna drop? Because I feel like the game can't even load fucking AI in without it lagging. So how are they gonna muster up a full blown plane?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna make shit like Reserve a lot more ass than it already is.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Hopefully it's well done, but I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, what we don't know is that the crates dropping in are actually gonna be players from PUBG coming into the maps, and it's going to be a true battle royale experience.
It's cross servers.
Tarkov battle royale. Tarkov Fortnite here.
Crossover the century, dude.
New thermal scopes. How do we feel? I feel like the flare's ass. The Reaper R is still fucking really fucking good. Everyone hates thermals already. Or they love them. I don't think we need more.
Fuck no.
Yeah. I feel like that's just resource allocation, like thermal scopes and poisoned knives should come later.
Well, dude, and that's the thing is like the I'm not opposed at all to like new, like constant new stuff being added. You know what I mean? But like last night I was doing a labs raid and I was fighting a team. Like I pushed him, had this dude ADS like right on him, and my game just froze literally for 3 fucking seconds, and like I killed one and then I died to the other one that came in while I was frozen, and it's like cultist, whatever, like thermals, new guns, like I could go half a year without any of that if they just prioritized making the game run as smooth as possible. You know what I mean? That's why like I don't get super excited about the new stuff, because it's like that's cool, but I feel like the focus should be diverted
here's
to that.
Something that they said is coming soon, like it's coming in 0.12, like it's gonna be here pretty soon, and we talked about this already, is that there's going to be an alarm that sets off when you open up Kiba. And what they confirmed further in this podcast is that it will attract Killa to Kiba and Raiders to Kiba.
I think that'd be badass.
I think they're going to have to heavily buff Kiba's loot, but I mean that makes it like a crazy fucking hotspot of epic fucking proportions, in my opinion. But they're gonna have to definitely, because Kiba right now is like barely worth opening with the risk of just how it's centered in the map. Right. And then if you've got everything fucking coming at you at the same time, that loot, even with the Raider loot and Killa's loot, if you manage to kill them, I don't feel like that's worth it for most players.
I think for Kiba, I mean, how many times do we look at the walls and try to find guns, but then how many times do we look at the armor mannequins and hardly find anything on those mannequins?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to buff it, I would love for a 2-man, 3-man team to be able to go in there and kind of like get kitted out, like kind of like at least upgrade their armor or upgrade a piece of their gun or something.
Yeah, just high tier loot.
Bring out that would be worth it. Put at least more, either like, okay, sure, don't give me like full Gen 4s, but if you want to give me time ability kits or something like that. Like give me 1 or 2 of those that'll make me worth it, or at least worth fighting over. Not just the fact that like the raiders are going to come in. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome sensor point on the map with the 2 different levels and kind of scouting it out. But also, if you're sitting up top, you're gonna have to watch Daddy James or watch down the aisle of Jacob and Jacobs, and make sure that you're covering your back too, which is awesome. But at the same time, if the worth isn't there, it's
that's useless. Yeah, what's the point of doing that? Because you get trapped in there. I mean, there's so many angles that you can just get shat on. You know what I mean? It's like you go in there, you maybe get an RSAS or like something decent, but it's like, yeah, I don't see any incentive to go there. I mean, I don't like the map in the first place, you know, so even less incentive to fucking play it.
I'll say I went into Kiba the other day and I found one of the class 3 blue press armors on one of those armor mannequins, and I was like, okay, cool, dude.
Yeah, like what yeah. Why the hell am I going in there?
Here's some more interesting stuff. So the VoIP, they're still talking about if it's worth it, or you know, they're like trying to figure out if they should do VoIP. I did hear an interesting idea about VoIP, and I actually liked it. Is that so when you go up to somebody in game and you like do the wave, like, do you want to work together? Then you can hear them in VoIP, and only then. And if somebody's talking in VoIP when you don't have them like waved up for communication, it'll just sound like voice lines are going off. So you can hear where they are. So then you get that aspect of being able to hear players talking. But then if you want to actually like find somebody in game and work with them in like a comms based fashion, you can do that like Y to work together. And if both players do it, they can talk back and forth via comm. And I think that is a good counter for the whole like blasting music.
Yeah, it's gonna be Gotchi. Yeah, it would be fucking Gotchi bass and Crab Rave getting blared through every fucking raid. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, but who doesn't want Crab Rave on comms, bro? When you're trying to storm the resort.
When you're you're immersed in the hardcore game and you got.
Fucking I think that's something that would be cool. I mean, what is the culture of sitting in lobby and inviting people? Or you getting a random invite, like nobody's gonna join that random invite because 10 times out of 10 you're gonna assume that you're gonna get killed right off the bat as soon as you guys get in there, you know?
Right.
So I mean, same thing with like pressing Y on somebody and like being able to talk. I think if you want to bring in this culture of community and of being able to have friendly players come in and play with you, friendly groups, you have to up the punishment for going wrong, like for that kind of stuff going wrong, because that's just going to be even more incentivized of let me be a 12-year-old little piece of crap and invite somebody and just kill my own teammate once I invite them on my team, you know?
What do you think like could be a possible punishment for doing that? Like what like a solution?
Didn't they just talk about the whole karma system?
I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know anything.
So there's been a lot of people talking about the karma system. I'm not sure where it came from specifically, but it was basically like if, say, you load into a scav raid and just immediately just start killing other friendly scavs, you will automatically start being targeted by scavs when you load into a scav raid. And so like the karma system, I guess, would work in the same way to where like if you were marked as a player with bad karma, people could tell that you had like toxic intention versus good intention,
like a badge or something, maybe, or like
basically.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that would be interesting. Either like a stripe on their uniform that you can actually physically see, or whatever, or like even an emblem by your name while you're waiting in the lobby, like with the crowns or with the 2 green handshakes to let people know that you're a Sherpa, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
This is some of my favorite stuff they talked about. So there's plans to be able to open doors slowly, as well as peek through keyholes, which I think is pretty. And then this is personal.
That would be sick.
The ability to destroy doors with weapons like shotguns and stuff.
Stuff like that I really do like, and not to bring up COD for much because I don't really play it or get that into it. But at least for COD or for like Hunt Showdown, if you're looking at a door, just regular point fire system position ready, of course, like the door just swings wide open. But if you like aim at the door and press interact, you can either peek it, and then from then on, you can actually push into the door and slowly open it. Some mechanics like that, I think, would be super cool.
Like an in-depth breach mechanic or like something to change.
And we
it up.
see that that's already there when you're on the scroll wheel. trying to open a door, but how soon are they going to implement that, and
Right.
and in what ways could they?
Mm-hmm.
I think destructible, like even like pieces, like you could shoot like if you play, I don't play it, but like Siege, right? So like you could shoot like certain walls and doors, and you can cut out almost like a pattern.
Right, like the frames are still there, like the foundation's still
right.
there, but
so you
some
could
of the
like
drywall
shoot out a
falling off
hole
and stuff like that.
and then peek it and play off that. I think that would be super fucking interesting. I think that'd be awesome.
For sure.
I mean, how many new sight lines could you create on Factory?
Right, exactly.
If you're able to do something like that,
Right.
But also, I don't think you should be able to do it like as quick as it can be. Like, I think it should be able to take some time. That risk and reward of like, I'm going to create a new dope sight line, but I'm making a crap ton of noise, and everybody knows where I'm at.
Right. Exactly.
They also said that takedown kills would be added. I think that's cool.
I
just don't want it to be. I don't want it to be broken where you can just like run around somebody like just in a circle and like just instantly kill them.
I don't need a Dark Souls. I'm right in front of my guy, but let me just run behind him while he's attacking and backstab for free.
Yeah.
I don't want anything like that either. But I think there could be this dope. I don't know. I don't want it to go too far away from Tarkov, because isn't it still Call of Duty that you could like get this like knife execution off? But even then, like or is it Battlefield that if you did it fast enough, you can reverse the knife attack? And I'm just like,
yeah, I don't want button mashing time based.
Yeah,
no, I wouldn't like that. But I do think that like there has to be certain requirements, I think, to like make the execute happen. Like the thing is dude, if you let someone sprint at you with a fucking melee weapon out and they're able to get in your range, like you should probably die. Like I know that back in old Tarkov, like you could one-shot people through their helmets with a melee weapon, which was like, it was pretty unrealistic. But at the same time, it's like, if you allow someone to get that close to you with a sprint, you know what I'm saying, right? It's like you deserve to get punished for that. Like you shouldn't be letting people with melee weapons get that close to you.
For sure.
So I think that'd be cool, depending how they implemented it, for sure.
So this is interesting. They said it's not coming anytime soon, but the ability to see entire raids from the viewpoint of every entity in the raid, so like every scav or player's viewpoint, you could go back and rewatch it. I think that'd be cool to like if you are confused about like what happened, and player, like it's a good way to avoid kill cams, and then also like be able to see people who might be cheating, and also just find out like new ways to play the game and learn from like your past experience even better than you already can.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's a play on like an old school. Man, I hate how much I'm referencing Call of Duty in this.
But it's like just a COD fan, just a huge COD fan, sound right?
But it's like a theater mode. I think that would be pretty interesting that you could review after raid. Again, as a great learning mechanic for a bunch of new players. Again, because we are in that season of a bunch of new players. But even for some shady things, like
cheating.
There's no way, because I mean, how many times, if you guys are in labs lately,
it's
are
bad,
you running into some really shady things?
It's fucking bad.
And just at least that confirmation would know. I mean, there's times where I'm playing the game and I'm known to not. I have been given the title of the most chill Tarkov streamer. I guess whatever, sure, but because I don't really get mad on stream, but there's points in the game, and I don't know if you guys can agree with me that like if I die because I just clearly got outskilled or outplayed, cool, I get it. Like, you know what?
Yeah, it helps you learn.
You got me. But if the game stutters, or I'm getting blasted through a solid concrete wall out of nowhere, or something shady's happening, I'm actually getting upset.
Yeah, it's annoying as shit, dude, because it's like, there's no skill. It's you're simply losing. And what, like, a game that puts so much, or it prioritizes like that intensity of like losing your gear or taking another player's gear that they paid for, expensive, whatever, like that should be the key. That should be the key thing that's being focused on. You know what I mean? Like, not dying like that, not losing gunfights, not losing your shit simply because the game is bugged, or it can't handle it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally feel that, for sure.
So this is another interesting one. They're adding more dynamic loot, and they're also doing a total loot overhaul. which could mean multiple things. And they say the first maps going for that would be interchange and then customs, which I think customs needs 100%.
No, yeah. I mean, customs. I mean, what is the reason why anybody plays customs right now, anyways?
For marked room.
For a marked room that 13% of the time, and that's a proven fact, by the way. That is, it's not even worth it. So,
Right.
you know, so and you get into some dope firefights in dorms. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's some pretty cool moments where you can be on second or on third, and you run outside and run up some ladders or try to peek an angle from 2-story across or vice versa, whatever you want to do. But at that point, it's like, all right, cool. So we got marked room and we've got a scav boss, and I think there's like 2 safes that I always hit in 2-story plus a crap ton of file cabinets. But I'm not trying to play file cabinet simulator.
No, fuck no.
I don't want to sit there and do that.
There's no other incentive to play the map besides that. And I will say the PvP at customs lately, I don't know, like I've been playing a lot less factory and a lot more customs, and the PvP is great, dude. I've been getting so many geared fights, like it's kick ass, but it might even bring in, you know, it always usually revolves around dorms. Which if they could make it like, I mean, because the only reason you go gas station is to find the scav boss, right? I mean, I think there's one in old gas, you know, like that spawn that can spawn like almost anything in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only other place where you could possibly get some good loot, you know. But you're never fighting over there. It's always around dorms.
Yeah, because if you go to gas and you don't see Skyboss, then you're gonna go straight to dorms.
Yeah, exactly.
And by that time, you're gonna fight whoever's going for marked room or whoever already hit marked room, or somebody who's you're about to go third party, somebody who's fighting Skyboss there. You know, so it's just, I mean, but think of the map and all of the different places that you could have a firefight. Like, let's take fights to Big Red. Let's take fights to the offices up top that are locked. You know, make that breach room more than just a quest room or a safe room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the giant construction area with that sniper tower in the middle. Like, whoever's brave enough to stand on top of that and watch the gold pocket watch truck, like, cool, you're brave enough to do that. But also, like, give me some either more cabins in the area that are gonna give me some more spawns, or put like weapon crates inside that tower, or make it worth going there, because nobody goes there. Everybody goes straight to dorms. The only reason why
it's the same argument with Shoreline too. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
the same,
100%.
Same idea.
But I mean, at least they're addressing it, and they're gonna do something. What are they gonna do? I mean, I don't know.
Right.
So in terms of map focus, though, Streets of Tarkov is like what they're making clear is their main priority. Like I said in a past podcast, it's apparently going to be so big that you can just get lost in the map. And what they said is that they're going to release the map in parts. Like, you'll get like first release of Streets of Tarkov, and then they're going to add more onto it and more onto it. And what the guy who wrote up this little list said is that they're sounding like they want it to be the heart of the game, like the main, like
what, Streets?
Streets of Tarkov, yeah.
So wait, so they'll periodically implement parts of the map, or you mean like?
Yeah, so they're going to periodically add parts of the map, and they say the map will hold up to 40 players.
Holy dude! But like, that's the thing is like it can't be another reserve, you know? Like, it can't be another great map that is just plagued with terrible fucking optimization. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, like reserve is a cool map. Like, I think it's super dynamic. Like, it's extracts. It's, you know, there's plenty of places that are hotspots, but I don't play it, especially on stream, because it runs like, you know, I'm playing on the GameCube or something. You know, it's
right.
It's not viable for me, at least. I don't like the PvP when that shit is that bad. So I hope they do it well, man, because they're just pushing out new content that's really not optimized or like anywhere near being finished, and it's discouraging for sure.
Yeah. I think Streets of Tarkov, I mean, the way they make the map sound of like getting lost and all that kind of stuff, I can't help but imagine the Division and the multiplayer, the Dark Zone, I think is what it was called. And it just depends for me, for Streets of Tarkov, are you going to make it this giant landscape, but with buildings you can only go up to the second floor on? Or am I going to be able to literally get lost in skyscrapers of buildings? And then what is that going to do for all the snipe heads out there who want to get like dope sniper shots and stuff like that? You know, I think it can be a really, really, really game-changing map. But if not done carefully, it's gonna get even further away from Tarkov. I mean, if you're gonna have 40 players onto a map, that's already widely different than what we have now, if you can agree. So it's just like, at what point are they gonna add either longer raid times? Are they gonna add more dynamic extractions? What are they gonna do? Like, okay, you're gonna get lost in the game. Like, I don't know how many times I'm gonna get lost until I don't play Streets of Tarkov anymore.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's gonna be something that you can run with an idea, and you can run with that idea for an unlimited amount of time. But I think you could also take the time from one idea, put it into 5 other ones, and perfect those with much more skill and craft. Just like all of our stutter problems and cleaning up other maps and loot spawns, it depends on how they're gonna break it down. Am I hopeful for it? 100%. Do I hope it's gonna work? Yes. Do I expect it? I don't know.
I mean, would you guys, like, personally, you guys and chat, like, would you rather go for a long period of time with really not that much new content, but you see constant progression in lag, in frames, and I mean, there's people that are rocking PCs that are, you know, the top of the line, and, you know, maybe you're getting 100 frames, which is plenty, but, like, that's not how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would much rather less content getting rushed out, and, like Mystic was saying, like, focusing on, you know, quality of life shit, like just being able to play the game.
For sure.
Yeah, frames over content, quantity over quality.
Yeah,
it just really depends, because the same thing, and I think Piercy said it in the podcast before. It's just like, how long can I play a broken game?
Right.
I mean, how long? And I get it. Like, I would love to see like a specifically detailed roadmap. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because there could be one already. But like optimizations every 3 weeks, or if you need to take every 5 weeks, at least I know it's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Not just these random shadow updates of like, oh, apparently this got fixed, and oh, apparently this got fixed. But
yeah, or it's the game's going down, like
breaking
random,
5 more things.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a game coder. I don't know how to do that stuff, but I can also imagine that you don't want your fan base to become growingly upset with the product that you're trying to improve.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Back to Interchange. Just quick footnote: it's going to get 3 new extracts for PMCs, which I think is good news, because Interchange is spawn camp central for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's I can't tell you how many times now going to Emercom extract at Ollie, and I literally either take like the hole in the wall that's a little bit before one of the exit ramps, and just like going all the way down the side fence and making sure that nobody's sitting there. But then if I'm the unlucky one, somebody else is coming, and then I'm viewed as the extract camper now, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to get out, bro. Like,
well, and as a streamer too, then these fuckers come in and they're like, "Yo, nice camping, you piece of dirt." You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, I do feel that it's hard to balance it with only 2 or what is it, 3 extracts on the map. I'm excited for like lighting changes, which are supposedly going to come to Interchange, and I would actually play the map more often than, for sure, because I mean, I know people are used to it. I'm not great at the map, like I'm not saying I am, but the dark corners and cardboard fucking boxes riddled everywhere, like it's just like it is the easiest map to sit on and not be detected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many times lately I've been finding a lot of the gunfights happen outside, either along the extracts, like I said, of course. I know loading into a raid one time, we loaded in, our buddy was loading late. I think we waited a total of 5 minutes, and there was already a 3-man team going straight for the extract. Thankfully we killed them, but searching their gear, they literally had 2 bottles of water and two things of lunch. Like, they were prepared to sit there for 35 minutes waiting for somebody else to come through. I'm like, why do that? And take that same scenario, but put them inside of Trend, or put them inside of another store, and they're just going to sit in some dark, shady corner,
right,
waiting for some unlucky soul to just run by, probably me, and I get one tapped out of nowhere.
Well, because you're trying to entertain, you're trying to play the game as a streamer.
Right.
That's another thing, is like, you don't have the luxury to sit in, you know, fucking
I do, but nobody's gonna watch it.
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch that shit. Like, so yeah, it's hard to find a balance for sure.
Yeah, well, I know. I was watching people. Sorry, Payman, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I went to Emercom Extract on Interchange the other day, and let's see, it was probably about 30 minutes into the raid. I went and was extracting, and I heard an ADS, and I shot into a bush outside of Emercom, and there was a level 47 player sitting there naked with an SKS in a bush.
And he was EOD too. I guarantee he's EOD.
Yeah,
most likely.
And
so
yeah, it's bad, dude. It's bad.
Not great. You were saying, Silent? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just, the same thing with Inside, of like it's become mandatory, and like, I don't know, there's this weird line that I'm caught in between, because like it becomes mandatory to make sure you take a flashlight on Interchange, because you're gonna, the corners, the dark shady corners you keep getting killed from, so now you got to take a flashlight or pre-toss grenades or pre-fire anyways. 995 rounds that are up to $14-15 a round, and I'm like, okay, there's this part where, like, all right, we're gonna take Tarkov into this like hyper realistic military game now, but it's kind of, you got to make sure, either if you want to do that, great, do it, but ease your fan base into it. You can't just completely change the game and expect your people to stay.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be interesting. So you want to make some lighting changes? Cool, lighten it up. I'm keen to the idea, if you're going to run a nighttime raid, then make the inside of the map, make it pitch black. How dope would Interchange be if it's like nighttime Factory?
Yeah, it'd be kick-ass. And that's why Factory is like I feel like that's the epitome of what nighttime raid should be, you know what I mean? Like, I was doing nighttime customs the other night, and I took the night vision off, and it's like, it's bright out because of the moon, it's like, I almost, in some situations, I saw better without it, and this was like peak darkness in the game, and I saw better without the NVGs on, and it's like, what the fuck even is that? Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Silent will like this one, and this is probably the last little bit from the podcast, but Nikita wants to add an entire storyline quest. Now, what that entails, I don't know, but what I would like to think it entails is there's just like a legitimate progressional story that you go through as one super long quest line and get like a really good reward at the end of it. I think that would be pretty fucking dope.
So how would that be different to normal quests, though? Like, how do you think?
For me, questing now, I mean, I would say probably like 90%, and that could be way off, but nobody reads any of the text, especially if you're a streamer. Most of the time, you're not going to read that stuff, or you might stay at it for a quick second and then tell your viewers to like go back at the VOD if they want to read it. For the people that do like that kind of stuff. If I'm playing the game off stream, like, yeah, of course, like I'll go through and I'll read some of the messages that are sent to you when you redeem your items or whatever, because I think it's kind of interesting how the traders, like, why can I complete a task for Proper but my reputation drops for the therapist? Stuff like that is like, it's kind of interesting, but
nobody really gives a shit. Like, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
in the grand scheme of things, that's not why you play the game.
Right.
This isn't an action RPG. This is a first person shooter and looter all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they can definitely still do some more tailoring on the tasks. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself in the top like 30% of people who know how to play this game well. I'm progressively learning. I'm progressively doing things and going through all the tasks. Like, I'm having a blast. I think that the task can still use some more tailoring. If you want to do this really dope storyline, I think it'd be great. But even then, if you want to captivate your entire audience, you better make sure that final reward is going to be worth it.
Right.
And even if you want to, you don't have to add cutscenes. You don't have to add, these full movie scenes or anything like that. Just make it simple and sweet. Make the story short and concise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever you give a presentation or whenever you give a speech or give a talk, you're not going to sit there and go and rap and run your mouth and chase your own tail in this story.
Yeah, just incentivize it to be fun or to be worth it.
Yeah, like if you're going to give me a Tarkov season 1 like on premiere primetime television and it only gets one season, you better give me a damn good story and make it good. And I would love that. And I think a lot of people would. But don't let that take away from the core essence of what Tarkov is right now. Again, like I said, if you're going to implement a game change, Don't just be like, boom, patch 13, patch 14, and the whole game is now something completely different.
Well, I think one good way for them to actually incorporate a bit more story is how they had mentioned that they were thinking about possibly putting traders into in-raid locations, like you would go to see Prapor or Skier in the. I think that would make it a bit easier to incorporate more story-based features into the game.
Yeah, I think that would be cool because I would actually like to, like, kind of how they're doing with, like, you have to get an item on customs, but then you have to take it and drop it off at factory. You know, stuff like that. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I get to, like, how you even unlock the Peacekeeper in the first place. And it's just stuff like that. I would like to be actually be taken. I would like to take it into a physical location, whether like like the Prapor has a shop set up, or you know the Peacekeeper is working in some like shady like fishing pier or whatever on shoreline. It can be interesting, but that also sets you up for, here I am so many like meters away, and I'm just gonna wait for somebody to come by and try to turn in a task and drop them.
It would have to be a no PvP zone. Like there would have to be dedicated zones to where you could not fight. You know what I mean? Like where
Definitely.
But then that could also be abused. Like I don't know. It's hard to make, like it's hard to balance it for sure. But I think that would be a cool implementation.
For sure. Any idea is worth running with. You just got to make sure quickly, like, is it something that we could actually do?
Right.
You know, you're gonna want to turn a what if idea into a what is idea, because now you figured it out, and like, well, you see now this is what it is. Now, what if it could be this now? You know, and make sure that if you have to cut an idea short, that you have something else already there to supplement it with, and still make sure that your community is happy.
Yeah, what Robert said actually is a good point. Make it an extract where you get there and then you interact with the dealer. Like it's kind of like your way out, and then you know what I mean? I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I know, like playing like Killing Floor and Killing Floor 2, in between the waves of killing all the zombies or whatever, you go to an actual physical location, and then like these like shutter doors like shut the whole room off, and then like you do your business and you buy stuff and you heal up or buy ammo, and then when the timer's done, the shutter doors drop and you go into the next wave. Like things like that could be really cool.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. So moving past Tarkov now, though, we wanted to take a little bit of this this podcast to discuss Twitch.tv and streaming in general. Whoa. For all you new streamers out there like Pierce.
Brand new.
For those of you who are trying to learn the technique.
Got it.
Yeah. So I guess what we wanted to cover is kind of a little bit on Xylent, what your thoughts are for like growth and like things that, you know, newer streamers should think are a bit like necessary to like learn in order to
just your opinion, like what you think you need to do to be successful, pretty much, or what your goal is.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, because there's so many ways that you could talk about this, but I'll make it short. Point one would literally be, as a new streamer, you're gonna want to like check out all your gear, and you're gonna want to get like the dopest camera and the dopest microphone and get all this kind of stuff. But you don't want to do that. You're gonna want to make sure you focus on your content. Content, I think, is the number one thing. If you're gonna go and present an idea, but you don't have a brand, nobody's gonna take you seriously. You really need to focus on what your channel is gonna be about, what your gameplay is gonna be about. If you want to be a Tarkov streamer, like, you gotta find like your niche and what that's gonna be. And you don't have to have this full like mapped out plan, but at least an idea going in of like, okay, cool, like this is what I'm gonna be. And going into point two is to not be discouraged starting off in the 1 to 5 viewer average, because that is its own hurdle to get through.
Right.
You know, there's no reason why you need to sit at 0 viewers. There's not, because you open up the stream dashboard and you start your preview, that counts as a view. So get yourself into the 1 first. Second, get a friend in there. Get somebody. I think something that's special about my stream, and I'll always say our stream, is because it's me and Leroy, and that's kind of the thing that makes us unique. Is like, how many times do you find in other streamers there's this second audible voice and somebody to interact with? It's so funny how I always say that people come into the stream and say hi to Leroy first, and then they'll say hi to me. You know, but that's just kind of what we do here. And for Pierce, it's getting crazy drunk, and somehow he gets better at the game and slaying out on Factory. And Payment, it's his beautiful looks and how crazy this dude is playing the game too, in the community that he's built. Number one, take your build and your setup one step at a time. If you can't afford a camera, don't get a camera. You want to make sure that you can do everything you can to make your game look as good as it can for the people. I'm not going to want to sit here and watch something that's going to be under 30 frames a second on a stream. Like, if I can up that quality to at least like a 720 by 30, or what is it? I don't even know what it is. But set that up to like this base 30 frames a second, get it looking good, and then if you can get a cheap camera to get like some physical look on you, cool. I highly recommend getting a camera because that adds a
personable
2060. Thank you. It adds it makes your stream more personable. Exactly. I get to connect with who I'm watching, and that builds an emotion, that builds a connection, a bond with the streamer, who is how you start your community. Because you get one person in, they see that you're just this really cool dude, or like for Pierce, they see this really dope guy that's slaying on Factory, and all that guy has to do is like, hey, Johnny, come watch Pierce. Hey, come watch Payment.
Right.
Come watch these guys, and then that's how you start building your fan base and your community. But number one, especially on Twitch, is you can't. Anybody can stream, and anybody can make an account and start going. But you really need to make sure that at some point, sooner rather than later, that you're going to want to start focusing on your content and focusing on what your channel is going to set, what you're going to do to set your channel apart from everybody else's.
Well, and I was, and going off what you said, like in like the gear, I think the two most important things you should focus on is, if you want to be serious about streaming, right? Because a lot of people think like, oh, streaming's super fucking easy. You turn on your stream and you play a video game. You know what I mean? Which it's not. And I know it sounds like kind of cringe saying but it's like a job, dude. It's tiring. Like, you have to make sacrifices for it. It's not as easy. Like, and I know a lot of people complain, or like they'll stream for like a week.
Yep.
And they're quiet, and they're not like, they're like, well, there's nobody in the chat, so what am I supposed to talk about? Like, but people pop in and out of your stream all the time. And if someone comes in, especially if you're small and you're just sitting there like, just not fucking say anything because nobody's talking to you, like, they're not gonna stick around. But what I was saying is, like, I think the two main things should be your microphone and get a decent camera. Like, I my channel's been doing great. I've seen the most growth I've seen in forever, and I'm playing on a fucking Thanksgiving dinner table. You know what I mean? And I got a cheap mic, a pretty cheap. I have a desk light that is my lighting. You know what I mean? So like, make it look good. Focus on the quality, but like, it doesn't mean you have to go out and spend $5,000 on like the top tier shit to succeed.
You really don't. And even if you want to, that can wait, and that will come in time.
Right.
I mean, you look at some of the top people. I mean, for instance, Pestily. What are you looking at on his stream? Him on the corner, an alert box in the top left or top right, and then the game, and that's it.
Right.
And that's all you really need. And if you want to get even to bigger people, Asmongold, who did Warcraft for a very long time, is literally just his camera, and it's not even that great of a quality.
No.
But
he's funny. People like him.
Brand. What is he known for? His brand. Why do you watch XQC? Because of his brand and who he is. Why do you watch, Trainwrecks and all these other people? Right. Why do you watch
Dr. Disrespect? Yeah.
Because of their content. And I think that's the one way that both of you guys are killing the game. And I think that's one way that somebody can really focus their channel to even, in the hopes of taking up, to even get to that point.
Yeah.
I really do like what you said of like, some people only stream for a week and they're like, yo, this is tough. And yeah, you never know who is going to come into your stream. Last week I started a stream, or I think it was the last day before I took off, Monday or Tuesday. And I got hit with a stream 30 minutes, or a raid 30 minutes into my stream, by somebody I don't even know. And he came and hung out for a while, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, appreciate it. So what did I do? I went to that VOD and I'm like, okay, how did he find me? Like, what? I kind of got suspicious. I was like, what just happened? So I went to the end of his VOD, and he literally just scrolled through, he literally said, bro, this guy looks dope. He's got a dope beard. And he watched my stream for like 5 seconds. And that can be all it takes. And if you're just sitting there playing the game, not talking, even if you have nobody in your chat,
nobody's gonna go in there.
If I come in for 5 seconds, I'm like,
yeah, it sucks.
like it's cool, or I'm gonna try it, and people will go out of the way, like, and I'll go at the extra mile and I'll type in their chat like, oh hey, like how are the raids going, whatever. But if you don't practice what you're gonna put into performance, that performance will be lacking. So when you have 0 people, talk to yourself. It's as easy as just saying what you're gonna do next.
Right. Just
All
talk
right,
through the process.
I'm gonna check my ammo, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And even with that, you're gonna get one person that is gonna come in and hang out.
Yeah, and some people will support just because you're small, and if they think you have potential, they'll hang around, they'll support you, even if it's not like the greatest quality or whatever. Like, and that's how you build it. And one thing I wanted to touch on that I think is by far the most important thing to being successful on Twitch, or growing your channel from a small channel, is fucking networking, dude. You have to network. Like,
yes.
And it's not just networking to, for personal gain, but like find people around your viewership that you like to watch, that you think are cool, that you think have potential on Twitch, and hang out. And if you don't like them, don't make that connection with them, right? But I spent hours and hours, and like, if I'm not streaming, I'm going in other people's chats. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm seeing like, this guy's got a high viewer count, but I fucking hate watching him. So I'm not gonna spend time there. But it is so important. Like, when I first started streaming, I played Fortnite, and the growth was great. I had a lot of support. I got affiliate within the first week, which was insane. But then I quit the game, and I wasn't consistent. I played, Overwatch, Apex, like all these other things. I was streaming like a few times a week, no schedule. And dude, my average viewer count was like 3. I was happy if I was maxing out at 10. And like, it's discouraging going from that to something better and to something, like that. But then when Tarkov came around, I was like, you know what? Streaming is important to me. I think I can be successful on Twitch given enough time. So I streamed every day, same time every day. I networked to other people, and I've been growing like fucking crazy, man. It's insane what consistency and making friends. Like, I would say at least 50% of my community, like the people that talk, they stream as well, And it's not, and you have to show your community that you care, and it's not just about like oh, I want your raid, so I'm gonna go in and act. It's not like that. Like, I go to some of my viewers, they have, one person in their chat, but I like them. I have fun in their channel. They're just, they're underappreciated because they're just starting out or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I don't know. I think networking and consistency, it's by far the most consistent thing. And it's not going to happen quick, dude. You have to be content with sitting at a low viewer count for a while. It's a very gradual thing.
Yeah, it's the thing where even watching people with high view counts that you don't like, there's still things that can be learned.
For sure.
There's this whole mentality. There's a weird like pseudo mentality of like dog eats dog, but in essence, there's really not, because you can look at the top people in just Tarkov alone of Pestily and Deadly Slav and Clean and Dottie Hack, and those guys support each other. It's all top people that are all supporting each other, especially when they're like the last Twitch Drops event and everybody is like rating each other, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's why can't we take that mentality into the level that we're at, of like, all my people watch both Pierce and Payman, like, and they all watch a bunch of other people, and whenever you guys aren't live, like, they're in my chat, or whenever I'm not live, they're in somebody else's chat. And I think that's great, because I don't watch just one TV show. I don't watch just one YouTube creator. I think the whole point of networking is really to get your community to interact with their community, to get your name known by other people, which I think we've done fairly well over here. Really, Leroy's done it way more than I have, and I'm super thankful for that. She's the one that's going into other people's chats and messaging and telling them like who we are, or just really getting to know that community. And or it can be something on the complete opposite side of just people coming into your chat, and again, that just goes back to talking and getting used to communicating with people. But really, networking and having a brand go hand in hand with being able to tell people your sales pitch. Not literally, like, I'm not suggesting go into somebody's chat and be like, yo, this is what I do, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you're gonna, dude. I hate when people
get
do
in
that.
their community.
Like people that come in and they're just like, yo, like they'll follow and they'll be like, yo, love the stream.
Follow for following.
Yeah, or no, people.
Shut up, bro.
People try to do it to where, and I'll tell you guys, if you're thinking about streaming or you're new to streaming, don't ever go into someone's stream and say, like, follow them and whatever. Even if you give money, it doesn't matter. And be like, all right, I'm gonna go stream. Like I try in other people's chat, like I try not to say if I'm streaming or not. Even if someone in their chat asks me, yo, are you streaming later? Like I usually just don't respond to it because it's not my stream. It's not my place to be like, yeah, I'll be streaming, and then, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if I'm comfortable in a community and like if the streamer asks me if I'm streaming, I'll answer it. But it's about the stream you're in, and when it's your stream, you would hope for the same respect, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to be the person that's gonna go in and take away from that person's stream.
Yeah, you don't. Nobody likes that.
Exactly, because I know that I wouldn't appreciate if somebody came and did that to me.
Hell
you know,
no.
so I'm not gonna do this to somebody else. And one thing, how I like to phrase it, and I know you guys have heard me say this multiple times. If I'm in y'all's chat, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go do the thing.
Yeah,
you know, that's just kind of how I mentioned. Like, that can sound so weird to a lot of people, but for me, that's how I let the streamer know, how my friends know, like, hey, I'm about to go take off and I'm about to go do this.
Right.
You know, and even at that, you don't need, that's not how you market.
No.
You don't need to go tell somebody, oh, I'm gonna go stream. Like, no, you don't need to do that.
Right.
Especially if you're not welcome in that community or if you're not known in the community.
Yeah, and like you guys could come in and be like, yo, I'm gonna go stream, and I wouldn't give a shit because I know you guys. You know, you guys are my friends. Like, I'm talking about new people coming in. And Payman, sorry, you haven't been able to talk, man. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, man.
I got it. It's brewing. I just wanted to touch on what you said earlier. Personally, for me, yeah, webcam necessary, networking necessary. The biggest thing for me though was you touched on a little bit. You got to talk. If you're just starting out, one thing I would do, first thing, turn off the viewer count. Second thing, just talk like you have a friend in the call, even if you don't. Even if you feel like a fucking crazy person. I can't tell you how long I streamed Overwatch for like 2 viewers, just being like, oh damn, I died. And then just like for 5 fucking hours, just sitting there, just being like, oh yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, you just got to talk like you're just like mentally not there. You just got to be blabbering about what the fuck ever, because then when people are like browsing and they're looking for the person with the biggest titties and they see you and they're like, oh shit, that's some big titties. And then they pop in, but then you got no fucking personality. They're not going to stay for longer than a minute. You got to be talking, and then they'll start chatting with you, and then they'll stick around because then they know you. But if they hop in and they see a brain dead dipshit, they're not going to stick there for it.
No, so there's no reason.
And you can't let it get in your head, because I still let it get in my head about viewer count. You got to turn the viewer count.
I have the same problem, dude. I check it so much, and the problem is like you'll have a really good stream or even like a week of like insane streams. And then you look and you still have good numbers the next week, you know, proportional to your channel size. But at least me, like, I get spoiled with it, you know, like I'll be doing great, and then I'll have like a super slow night, and I shouldn't even talk about it. I shouldn't even, you know, pay any attention to it, but it's like, it does affect the streamer. It's like, Jesus, man, like that was such a good time. Why can't every night be like that? And then you kind of get down, and it's like, damn, like I'm not doing as good, which you shouldn't do that. Like it's definitely, like Payman was saying, it's a good habit to not look at your viewer count, because if you do, you're always like, you become obsessed with it, and it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you out at all.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is with anything, but especially streaming, when you have a night that's less viewers than before, or a night where chat's popping off less than before, is you get inside your own head, you know, and you're gonna start for some reason trying to psychoanalyze yourself and say like,
am I doing something wrong?
Am I doing something wrong? Am I not talking enough, or am I not entertaining enough this time, dude? And I hate to say it, but the last stream that I had, I personally felt like was hot garbage because I was dying every single raid. But for everybody who knows Tarkov, that's how it's gonna be sometimes.
Right.
But I got inside my own head of just like, you know, this sucks. I don't know why anybody's here. I don't know why people are watching this. You know, and it took like 3 people like literally DMing me, telling me that it's more downing for the viewers to hear me say that kind of crap live than
to
it
watch
is
it.
For me to suck it up and continue playing and continue streaming.
Well, I'm the same. You know, I get overly competitive, and then if I get fucked like multiple times, it's like, it brings me down. It's like, oh, dude, these people, and then I'll look at the viewer count and I'll like, but Twitch fluctuates a lot. Like people are constantly coming in and out, and people have real lives. You know, like one day of the week could be the day that the stars align and everybody has work off or whatever, and they're free to watch your channel. And then one day, people are busy. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you have to realize it's not a personal thing. It's just Twitch is very inconsistent. Even when you start to be consistent, it in terms of viewership, in terms of everything, it is really inconsistent. That's something you have to like remember when you're doing it, you know, to not get discouraged at least.
100%. It's one of the things where you got to go in at least knowing that you've got to be prepared for the long haul if it's going to be something that you're going to want to take seriously. And you'll find out within the first couple of weeks if it's something you want to take seriously or not.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. So we have a few minutes left. Chat, if you have any questions about anything, personal lives, sex lives, Tarkov, Twitch, whatever you want to talk about, ask away.
Being made in a factory.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on, guys, just pop those questions. Go ahead. We'll answer them accordingly.
Why I have an electroshock pad on my shoulder right now.
I mean, why?
Wait, what is it?
I have like a pulsating electro pad on my shoulder right now.
Oh, is your shoulder fucked up or something?
Heck yeah.
You got a question from Noble there for you, Pierce. Would you do it in the bathrooms at Factory given the...
If Factory was a real place and I was given the opportunity, of course, man. Of course. Why would
Pierce,
I would never, you know, let that opportunity slip. You know,
if it was ever possible for Pierce to lose his virginity, he would take it no matter what.
I'm still trying, guys. I've been trying my whole life, you know. I'm hoping we can get there. So Pepper says, thoughts on all the lurking people in partner streams and if they are really viewers. Like, for example, a streamer hitting 3K and not dropping below that.
So I spoke on this exact topic with a buddy of mine like 2 days ago. It's I don't know, man. There's a streamer, I don't know if he still streams or not. Of course, I'm not going to bring up names here, but you know, he was literally viewbotting himself for like 150, 200 people. You go into the actual list and like you go into the actual people.
There's nobody in there.
Like 4.
Right.
You know, is that something that you want to do? I mean, by all means, cool. Same thing with partner streamers. If you're gonna have partner streamers, it just depends, and half the time you can't control it.
Right.
Because if you're crazy night people like the three of us, and I'm used to stream 1 a.m. to 8 a.m, and sometimes I still go till 8 a.m, I'm gonna get hit by a raid that has a bunch of lurkers.
Yeah.
Well, half of it's gonna be lurkers.
And the thing is, like, especially partner streamers, like you're talking about, Pepper, like the thing with Twitch that is, I guess it's what makes growth exciting, and it's kind of skewed. It kind of sucks, but people will watch people simply because their viewer count is high a lot of the times, or they'll come in like, if you're number 1 on the list, like it doesn't matter if they know anything about the game, anything about the streamer. People are drawn to those people unless they're specifically looking for a small stream. So if you got new people coming into the community, into the game, like those people are gonna have people just sitting in there clicking on their channel. It doesn't mean they're gonna say anything, but yeah, that's just how it works. I don't know if it's necessarily all view botting. It's more so just like they're getting a lot of attention and not everybody's talking.
I've found some weird, like personally, like for example, there's this streamer I found. I'm not going to name names, of course, but the viewership on the stream was really high all the time. There was only like maybe 5, 6 same names in chat every day, 5, 6 same names, and that was it for the most part. And those same 5, 6 people had given a shit ton of money to the channel, which was very odd in my opinion, because nobody else was talking, but there was a lot of people watching, and then the only people talking had donated a pretty immense amount to the stream. So I don't know if it's maybe people view bot because it attracts some white whales who like try to support bigger streams, or I don't know, but there's I found there's some like weird kind of sketchy communities towards like that mid-range, like 100 to 200 viewer mark and you can tell when someone has like a fully natural viewership, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, you can tell when you go into somebody who has 1 to 200 to 100 to 250, and chat's popping off, and they're interactive, and they're an engaging streamer and an engaging community.
It does
And then you
depend
can
on the
tell.
streamer though, like
Yeah, it does.
certain channels they like they're chill streamers, or not even just the chill streamers, whatever. Like it depends on the streamer, on the channel. Some people just go there, like they'll put it on to go to bed or put it on to watch in their bed. You know what I mean? Like not everybody's gonna chat. And like what I think Silent or Payman was saying, like with raids, like I got a huge raid last night and there was a bunch of active people, but like my viewer count still stayed high after the raid, but people weren't talking. You know what I mean? Like people,
Yeah.
they come and go. Kind of like what Suddy was saying is people come in and out all the time without telling you if they're lurking or if they're, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, to go back to the TV reference that I made earlier, of just like, you know, for most people's mentality is like, once my TV show's done, I'm switching the channel.
right.
And that's once the streamer I'm watching is done, and they're gonna send it off to somebody. I'm either gonna go watch somebody else who's on my follow list, or I'll hang out for a couple minutes, and then I'm still gonna bounce regardless.
Hmm.
So for me, and this goes back to like another streamer tip, it's just like, how are you gonna turn that 50-person raid into at least 5 followers?
Right.
And again, that just goes back to making sure that you're talking and that you're chatting and that you're engaging. Because I kind of want to tie this into Robert's question. Um, it's really just you. There's 2 different types of streamers in my eyes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's the streamers that you watch because of their skill of the game, and then there's streamers that you watch because of their personality and their contact. And there's like a mix of both too.
Definitely.
And I think Pierce, like you fall into both, but it can really just be your skill and play style on Factory that captivates a lot of new people to your stream.
Yeah. But
'Cause you can go in and kill it, and your stream is action based,
Right.
constantly going.
But I try to focus on like that, like the chat is the fun part, and even if that's the thing is like sometimes I have a high viewer count, I'm doing good, but the chat's dead and it makes me bored. You know what I mean? Like I could be having the best raids of the night, but I'm not having fun unless I'm like saying some stupid shit or laughing at chat or vice. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's that there's definitely a balance that you have to get.
So reading the question posed from Rob, how sometimes I get down because of bad raids, and he says that Tarkov is what people are there to see, was a good way for him to understand that people are there for him and not necessarily the game. Yes, I understand that people do like people for their personality on Twitch, and I have plenty of viewers who would watch me no matter what I play, and that's been proven when I've played other games like horror games and such. But at the same time, it's hard for me as a streamer, especially for somebody who does this as my source of income currently, to be able to just go to a new community where there is Tarkov viewers who will tune out indefinitely, and also I'm not going to get as much exposure to new faces and new people. I love to play other games, and there's a lot of games I like to play off of stream, and I think it's the same for Pierce. And Xylan has a good variety thing going on stream, but it is hard when you kind of base yourself on one topic to feel comfortable switching it up.
It is very hard. As a small streamer, it is extremely hard, and that's why I respect Silent because he's been doing great while doing it. And I think he mainly plays Tarkov, right? That's like I think what he built his community.
The way I break it down is, of course, like I want to play a bunch of other things, but you also, again, you have to find what brings people to your stream. So what I like to do, and I started off doing 3 to 4 hours of Tarkov, because that's mainly, if I'm going to cut my stream after 4 hours, I'm ending it with Tarkov. But I'll do 3 to 4 hours, and then I'll bring that community into a new game for everybody who's still there. I'm going to bring it into, when I did my full playthrough of Little Nightmares or Limbo, or I'm finishing up Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and finishing that. I'm not going to start off my stream that way, because I'm known as a Tarkov streamer. So I should at least go in expecting that my viewership's not going to be the same while playing a different game.
100%.
That doesn't mean that I can't bring my community into something else after I'm done. And I'll let my community know, as long as I let them know, like, I'm going to do like 3 or 4 more raids. We're going to go for like 3 or 4 hours tonight. And then like what I've been doing lately is going to play Hunt Showdown with my buddy Dave. and I'll just like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna go do this for an hour before we end it, you know. Or if I, and then you fall into that where I'm about to end it, and then I get a raid from somebody, then they raided me because again I'm a Tarkov streamer, so I'll go back and I'll go back and play Tarkov for a bit longer.
Right.
You got to find this balance of, you got to take your community into the games that you want to play. You can't take your new community into a completely different stream and then like, all right guys, you guys are gonna have to wait 4 hours before I play the game that you guys are here to watch. They're not gonna wait 4 hours, they're gonna go watch somebody else. So that's kind of how I've been learning how to balance it. And even with that, there's some people that don't stick around, and you have to be okay with that.
For sure. So that's about our time for tonight, chat. I know. I'm sorry. I wish we could, exchange stories and, meat hugs all night, but we're going to have to call it there, and we'll see you. Listen, next Friday. Everyone, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and buy the merch because it's gonna fund my crypto predictions.
Can you drop the links? Pay me.
I already did, but I'll drop them again real quick.
Guys, drop the links, folks.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out, man. I do appreciate it. Hopefully, maybe you learned something, and if not, it's just three bozos talking into a microphone. Okay. But thank you guys for being here, man. Silent, thank you for being our guest as well, dude. It was awesome. Highly appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow Payman Games and Silent Mystic on Twitch. They're both awesome guys, awesome streamers, and show them some damn love. Okay.
All right. Have a good night, everybody, and thanks again for.
Peace out, boys.
Thank you guys for having me.
Take it easy.